It just means tracking your calories, eating a good amount of food and enough food to have good energy levels, but just being more strict with it. And strict doesn't have to be restricting.
No.
Strict.
There's a difference between strict and restrictive. I'm going in with this like mentality, I guess, that I'm doing this for my physical health, I'm doing this for my mental health. I just want structure in my life again. Welcome back to another episode of the CS podcast. Today, Russ and I are diving deep within our personal life. So what we've been up to lately, what we've got ahead of us, and giving you all a little bit of an insight into what we have been getting up to and what we will be getting up to.
Yeah, so we'll be going through everything about us to show that we are just human beings just like you. Personal training, nutrition, business, our goals at the moment. And hopefully you can get a few insights into what we do to take home for yourselves. But should we start off, as always, with our recommendation or our
bit of advice
lesson for the week?
Yes.
You can start.
Absolutely. So my bit of advice this week is as simple as go to bed early. Like, I don't even know how to say it any simpler, but just go to bed early. We have been going to bed, like in bed by 8 p.m, reading, and then asleep like 9 o'clock max. We're asleep, out like a light. I would 100% recommend doing this, even if you're not getting up like anything like crazy early. Just going to bed early and getting a good night's sleep and like almost utilizing that as your wind down routine has been a game changer for us this week.
Yeah, it's been good to actually have a time that, like for me, I've made sure that 8:30 is the absolute latest that I will be in bed. It's meant that then we finished work a little bit earlier. We've kind of been more productive in our day to be able to finish a bit earlier, make sure we're cooking dinner at an earlier time to then be able to get in bed and wind down and then be asleep by a reasonable hour so we can get a good 8 hours of sleep per night.
Yeah, because I feel like the last, maybe 9 months, we haven't had like a bedtime, and we just go to bed when we have finished work, eaten dinner, had a shower. Like, that's our bedtime. Whereas I kind of feel like I'm, back in school, like Prime Possum would come. The Prime Possum would come on at like 7:30 or whatever, and I'd be like, Mum and Dad would be like, all right, let's go to bed, 8 o'clock. That's what I feel like now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I'm thriving
feeling
it.
Way better for it as well. Like, getting up in the mornings, I'm getting up so much easier, and my mornings are far more productive as well because I've had a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
so
it sounds so silly,
so fucking
but
simple. And we teach every single one of our clients it and tell everyone to do it, but actually doing it ourselves is great.
It sounds so silly, but have a bedtime routine. Like, just have a time that you go to bed. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, my bit of advice. So if you have like a health concern of any kind, do something about it. And the reason I'm saying this is it's no kind of secret that my eyes have been all over the place in terms of the last couple of years. I've got pretty bad eye condition. I've got dermatitis around my eyes, and because of the dermatitis that I've had in my eyes for the last, or like the skin around my eyes for the last couple of years, it's actually meant that my eyelid has pulled down and my eye constantly waters. And I've just put up with it. I've just gone, whatever. 18 months ago, I went to the optometrist, and then it's called an optometrist, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's say yes.
Person who sees your eyes, yeah?
Yeah,
optometrist.
Yeah. I went to the optometrist, had an appointment about 18 months ago, and never went for a follow-up, never did anything about it, and probably should have then. And now I've got to go and see a specialist in a couple of months and then have surgery on my eyes to pretty much like move everything back into place, because
it's like
my
plastic
eyes
surgery of
it literally
eye.
is, yeah. And it's got to be like an actual eyelid specialist who specializes in just eye surgery. So yeah, probably should have got that done sooner, but I've done it now. I've taken that step. Yeah. And I only took that step because I literally parked out the front of the optometrist the other day out of coincidence and been meaning to call them, and then just walked in, got an appointment on that day. And yeah, now I've got to have like quite a major eye surgery, hopefully this year, if I can get it done. That'd be good.
Yeah, you're going to look like a pirate. You have to wear a patch.
Yeah, literally, I'm going to have a patch, a big black eye. It's going to be great fun. So tune in for that podcast episode in 6 or 12 months' time, or however long it's going to be. That'll be fun.
But no, be proactive if you do have a health concern. Like, don't put it to the side. It's not going to disappear. do something about it.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever it might be. Like, it doesn't have to be your eyes. It could be anything.
Yeah, literally.
Do something about it.
Amazing. Well, let's get into today's podcast. So as I said, we are doing a deep dive into Russ and I's kind of personal life at the moment. So let's kick things off with our goals. What are we currently working on, Russ?
So we've got this is personally in terms of our own training and nutrition, I guess, and our own health and fitness. We've got our client photo shoot coming up in May, so the 18th of May, and Michaela is also participating in that client photo shoot. So it's 8 weeks away from this current week, which is super exciting to have a short-term goal that we're going to work towards, which we'll cover in a little while. And Michaela's working towards that. I'm obviously supporting her and keeping her accountable, and also going through that kind of prep process myself.
Boyfriend of the Year award, like.
Thanks, no worries.
But no, I haven't done like a photo shoot or any kind of prep for a long time. So I am super excited to be doing this. I think that we mentioned this briefly in last week's podcast episode.
Yeah, we did. We touched on it, but it's always good to have that goal to work towards. Like it was only 3 weeks ago that you decided that you'd actually step in and do the photo shoot as well. So yeah, Michaela said that, and I was like, cool, let's just do it. I'll do it with you, and have something to knuckle down towards for the interim, for the short term, and really work hard towards.
I feel like it's been nice as well in terms of like finding routine post-holiday too.
Yeah.
We got back from Bali last week, and if I didn't have this goal that I was working towards, I probably would have got home, like spent a week getting my shit together, like taking my time, not really doing anything. Whereas I made my decision on this when I was in Bali, and I was like, no, this is a good time to do it, because when I get home, I know that I'm just going to, meander around and not really do anything. So I need something that I'm like, right, as soon as I fly into Melbourne, I've got to get everything sorted. Like I don't have time to waste. So having like a short-term goal that is quite short-term, like 6 to 8 weeks, it really gets your ass into gear when you know that you have tendencies to get quite lazy. Yeah. Which is like me. I'm not going to lie.
Easy. And like we are so busy. We're always doing something socially, personally, and obviously professionally with work. We've always got things going on. So it could be so easy for us to put this off over the next 8 weeks. And the reason we're talking about it is to keep us accountable, because if we go off track, we've got all of the listeners of the podcast.
I actually think that that's such a good recommendation though. Like if you're wanting to commit to something, like if you're like, okay, I want to do a photo shoot or I want to get into shape for an event or something, announce it to people. Because if you announce it to people, if you tell people about it, they're going to keep you accountable. And it's almost like to yourself, I can't give in. I can't give in when it gets too hard, because I've got these people watching me and like keeping an eye on me. And I think that's the power of having like a fitness Instagram account. I've seen a couple of our clients lately, they've made like fitness accounts on Instagram. 100% recommend it. Like start documenting your journey to the wider public. And that's another form of accountability, but to masses, which I think is so powerful.
Yeah, the more people you have holding you to account, the higher chance that you're actually going to stick with things. So that's what we're doing basically. So with our training and nutrition, let's now talk about what that's looked like over the last 6 to 12 months or so, leading into now a prep for a photo shoot, because over the last 6 to 12 months, maybe even longer potentially, with our training, we've kind of meandered through, but made sure that we do maintain some level of consistency. Training and nutrition hasn't been, or like our own kind of, I guess, health and fitness, it's been there, but it's not been our number one priority. We've not had any comps, any preps, any shoots, any major holidays that we really wanted to get in shape for over that last period. So
we've just been doing it to like maintain our fitness, really.
Yeah, exactly. And so with training, like the big thing that we've done is make sure that we do get into the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Although we haven't been super consistent 4 times a week, training really hard, hitting PBs every single session, we've still been getting in to be able to maintain some level of our strength. And I think that is super important, that you can ebb and flow in and out of these kind of, whether it's a dieting phase, whether it's just a phase where you do knuckle down and get a bit stricter with your training and nutrition and get a bit more regimented. You can ebb and flow in and out of them. And
flicking into autopilot, that's what I call it. I don't know about you, but the last 12 months for me, I've I've been on autopilot. My attention and my energy has been elsewhere in my life, which has been heavily professionally based. So I was able to flick on my autopilot with my fitness and be like, cool, I know that I should probably get into the gym 3-4 times on a good week. Just exercise mainly for my mind. Like, I'm not really trying to achieve anything physically, just for my mind to be a good partner, boss, business owner, level-headed individual.
Not level-headed.
Oh, yeah, sometimes. But no, like, I've been doing it for that reason, whereas my autopilot's off now. Like, I am laser focused. Yeah. And it feels good to be back laser focused, because we were talking about this off air before, but it's nice when you've done something like this in the past, like you've done a prep or you've done a comp or whatever it is that you've done in the past. You know the methodology that you need to apply to your life to be able to achieve X, Y, Z, whatever it is that you're working towards. Because you've done it in the past, you can flick off into autopilot. And when you do need to flick back on, those things just come rushing back in. And that's what I found in the last week. Like, I haven't done a prep for over 2 years. I haven't tracked my nutrition in over a year. Like, I haven't done any of that. But within the last 2 days, it's like I've never left. Like, I've got those almost like bits of experience and like tools in my toolbox that I can just whip out now, and I'm straight back into it.
Absolutely. And I think anyone who goes through like quite a big transformation, like a prep that you went through, you are not far away from being able to just flick that switch when you need to and be able to get regimented when you need to. And that doesn't necessarily mean like 8 weeks over the next 8 weeks leading up to the shoot, like restrictive eating or anything like that. No. It just means tracking your calories, eating a good amount of food and enough food to have good energy levels, but just being more strict with it. And strict doesn't have to be restricting.
No. There's a difference between strict and restrictive.
There's a massive, massive difference. And being strict is what we're being at the moment. But nutrition-wise is similar. So nutrition, we haven't tracked food, as you mentioned, for I can't remember how long.
Yeah, about a year and a half, I reckon. I've opened up my fitness pal. I've been paying for premium this whole time.
Yeah, I know, literally, just to have our clients on there so we can check out their stuff. But I think that's a big lesson in itself, that you don't need to track your nutrition forever. Like, we have tracked our nutrition. We know portion sizes pretty well. And we've always, in a way, especially with work, followed the mentality of like Monday to Friday, be absolutely on track. And then the weekends relax a little bit. Like, our nutrition, even now that we're being a bit stricter, doesn't change much compared to what it was. We're eating similar sized meals, similar amounts of meals, maybe indulging a little bit less here and there, but it's staying very, very similar because that's kind of ingrained in us into our lifestyle now.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have been ingrained in our lifestyle if we didn't go through that period of that season in our life where we did knuckle down and like teach ourselves about portion control and what you should be filling up your macros and your micros with. We wouldn't have that knowledge. Yeah. Whereas now we do. So like, we've been able to follow it for the last year and a half. And now that we're actually pulling ourselves into line, it's just coming so easily.
Absolutely.
Like, this quote unquote prep that I'm doing is pretty much the same as what I did last time, but feels so much easier. Like, definitely. So much easier than last time.
Yeah, it will. And anytime that you do anything again for another period, it gets easier and easier. And a lot of people might be thinking, oh, why have I got to track my nutrition? Like, we talk about tracking nutrition so much. Like, all of our content is around tracking calories because that is the method that we believe gets the best results. And we've shown that gets the best results.
And if you're taught the right way, it's not restrictive. Like, it's not like, a lot of people think like using MyFitnessPal and tracking your nutrition, like it's obsessive, like that's how you're going to develop eating disorders and all that sort of thing. If you're guided in the right way, if you have the right support network behind you by having an informed and educated coach, it doesn't have to be that way at all. What's that, I explain this to clients all the time, and I was talking to a girlfriend about this as well the other day. It's almost like saying, okay, I'm trying to save up money. I want to buy a house. I want to buy whatever it is, but I don't want a bank account. It's like, if you want to save money, you need a bank account.
Like, you need to see what's going in and out.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same. Like, with your calorie intake, you need to see what's going in and out and what your calorie intake looks like. So
good luck saving for the house without a bank account.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing for us.
I like that. That's a good saying. I should use that.
You're welcome.
And like, when you first start, tracking your calories is the best method to achieve that result. Unless you go through that process, you won't get that knowledge and that education for the long term. And you need that first before you can then go into intuitively eating, which is like what we were doing. But now we are back tracking our calories. So let's talk about now what we are doing over the next 8 or 9 weeks to tighten everything up, to become stricter with our training and nutrition. So we'll talk day to day, we'll talk week to week about everything that we do.
Yeah. So to tie into what I said at the start, I actually go to bed at a reasonable hour now rather than knocking off work at like 9 o'clock and getting to sleep at like 11 and then expecting myself to get up at 6 a.m. Like I actually have a bedtime, which is quite nice. So I go to bed. Before I go to bed, I read for maybe 10 to 15 minutes just to chill. I don't read anything like educational or self-development or anything like that because that just fucking wires me. I don't know about anyone else, but when I'm reading like self-development books, I'm like, I do this, I don't do that, I don't do this. And if I'm to read that before I go to bed, not good.
Yeah. She won't sleep.
No, so I read stories, love stories. I love that. I had a dream last night that Taylor Swift and I were best friends. Did I tell you that this morning?
Because you watch copious amounts of TikToks of Taylor Swift. No wonder you're having dreams about her. Because you consume like 4 hours of Taylor Swift content a day. That's probably why.
I didn't even think I liked Taylor Swift. But
No. I can tell you right now, you like Taylor Swift.
But where does this come from though? Like
I know all of her songs now from your fucking TikToks.
No, but I didn't. Like, what has happened to me? I blame Cherie. It's Cherie's fault.
I feel like it's like a mid to late 20s thing that Taylor Swift came about 15 years ago or so when we were all like teenagers, and then we went through the stage of like, now Taylor Swift, like it's not cool to like Taylor Swift when you're like a late teenager. And then when you then get to like mid to late 20s, it's like, okay, now it's cool to like Taylor Swift again.
My whole For You page is just Taylor Swift. Like,
fucked.
Oh,
you are fucked.
Anyway, I went off track a little bit there.
But we're going to bed early, aren't we? We're having dreams. That's what we were talking about.
I'm dreaming about Taylor Swift. But no, I'm going to bed early. I'm getting up at a reasonable-ish hour. This has just been this week, by the way, which, to be honest, Monday, I was not happy about it. Been getting up a bit earlier than normal, 5 a.m.?
We get 5, yeah. Alarm's going off at 5 most days. Yeah. So training-wise, we're getting our training done super early now. So we mentioned a few weeks ago, didn't we, that we've been training earlier in the mornings. We still get up and walk Haiti first, and then we go to the gym. We've now switched that around because the mornings are getting a bit darker. So we're getting up and going to the gym and in the gym by 5:30, 5:45 in the morning.
Whereas we were doing it like 7:30?
7:30, yeah. Which even 7:30 back then, like last week or before, was early for us.
I don't think we've ever trained this early. Like 5:30 a.m. Even when we worked in the gym.
I said this Monday. I think I trained at 5:45 on Monday, and that is the earliest training session I've ever done.
And what did you say to me this morning?
And I said,
I'm secretly
enjoying it. No, it's good. It's good to get it up and get it done. Like because as we all know, motivation comes and goes. You will never be motivated every single day. So if you can get up and get it done first thing in the morning, you have less time on those days that you're not motivated to think about it and to make up excuses. So this morning I wasn't super motivated to get up and train. This morning we actually switched our schedule around, didn't we? Because we had other things going on, and we trained after we went for a walk. During that walk, I got back and thought, now I've got to go fucking train. So, and I don't know if that's just because I was training legs, but
probably
I still had that opportunity to almost try and talk myself out of it. I didn't. I still went to the gym. I trained, but if I'd have trained first thing in the morning, I'd be straight into it. And
I said that the other morning as well. I was like, by the time I'm actually in the gym warming up, I'm still like coming to. I'm still like, what day is it? What time is it? My brain hasn't even had the opportunity to think about how much I don't want to train.
Definitely. You got to just get it done. I think it's a crucial thing. Anyone who's got time restraints, getting up and getting your session done, it means that anything that pops up in your day, like if you're a busy person, which if you're not a busy person, you're lying. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got shit on. So stop using busy as an excuse because fucking everyone's busy. But in my opinion, but get up and get it done because then the excuses don't pop up through the day like they normally would if you were to try and train in the afternoon or the evening or another time. Yeah.
And then we train. We come home and then we've been taking Hades for a walk a little bit later because it's actually daylight and I'm the clumsiest person in the world. So I was coming close to breaking my ankle every single walk that we went when it was dark. So one of another main reasons that we switched our schedule around. And yeah, we'll take Hades for a walk. We will come home. We normally go straight into our team meeting and then we get into our work for the day.
Yeah. And nutrition-wise at the moment, like over the next 8 weeks or so, we're going to definitely Monday to Friday be super strict. We're going to be tracking our calories, like everything we consume, weighing out every single thing that we consume.
Making sure that we eat enough protein as well. This is probably one thing that I fall into every single time. And like I am a coach. when I'm like not monitoring what I'm eating, my protein intake plummets. Like I don't eat enough protein. So by me just tracking and being aware of this, I'm consuming a higher amount of protein, which is obviously helping with my physique-based goals as well.
I did think that the meat we had in our dinners was a lot more than normal. How good.
Yeah.
Michaela does all the cooking. And one hack for you, if you have a partner who is also on your health and fitness journey, like Michaela and I are at the moment, if one of you does the MyFitnessPal tracking and the other one doesn't do it, like myself, I just steal all of Michaela's MyFitnessPal entries. So I go onto her diary because I've got her as a friend on MyFitnessPal, and I literally add every meal into my diary so that then when we're cooking together, it's literally copy and paste straight over. And then if I've got anything that's different for the day, I'll adjust everything from there rather than me having to track everything and Michaela having to track everything. It's a really easy way. Another thing with that is add some of your friends who might be tracking on MyFitnessPal on there. You can eat the same things. Obviously, if you're friends, you're probably not cooking it together, but there's a big hack. It means I'm basically tracking on MyFitnessPal without tracking on MyFitnessPal.
It's a joke. You're so lazy. You're so lazy, honestly.
Hey, I do the dishes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's okay.
No, so training and nutrition for us, we are back on our shit. We're monitoring things, we're feeling better, feeling more productive, we're seeing good results like within the first week. I'm not being overly restrictive because restrictive eating, overtraining, undereating has, if anyone's tuned into our episode a few weeks ago, it never ends well for me because I do have such an obsessive tendency, I suppose. So I'm going in with this like mentality, I guess, that I'm doing this for my physical health, I'm doing this for my mental health, I just want structure in my life again. And the package or the physique that I bring on my shoot day is just going to be a byproduct of that. So, which I'm excited for. Like all of my girlfriends are, like sending me ideas of shoot inspo. Like I think it's going to be quite a creative shoot, which I've like done a couple of shoots now, but this is going to be different. So I'm excited for this one.
It'll be fun. I think your big shoot that you did, we hadn't ever done any client photo shoots until then. And this is our 4th or 5th client photo shoot, I think. So being like seeing all of the clients do photo shoots over the kind of year or so that we've done them, now you actually stepping in and doing a shoot is going to be epic to see. And to see like the fact that you have been able to just switch it on. You haven't had to do like a 12 or 16 week prep. You've been able to maintain where you've been the last year or so and then just switch it on for a couple of months and you're good to go and get in front of the camera, which is cool. Yeah, another thing that I've done is I've added extra accountability to myself as well with one of my best friends, Jord. He and I are now training together, which is such a game changer. Like he said it as well. He messaged me in the week and was like, having someone there that is relying on you to be there at the gym is such a huge game changer. Get yourself a training buddy. Like, yes, we potentially might not at the moment at this stage be pushing as hard as we could, but we are training consistently. We are getting through our sets a lot quicker rather than like kind of being on your own and just going through the motions, but we are keeping each other accountable to being there at a certain time. And I think that is the biggest power in having a training buddy when it comes to accountability. And
I think as well, because there's probably a lot of people that listen to this podcast that might work from home or like be quite isolated during the day. It is so important to still stay socially connected with people. And I feel like for us in particular, because we do work from home, having that like person that we see every single morning that like kicks our day off to a fly, like he's hilarious, so he's always got us laughing.
He's
like
a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's honestly so funny. But having that person and having that like social interaction with someone right in the start of our day, I feel like it's just made me a happier person.
Yeah, it's good. Like we would genuinely, like with working from home for ourselves, we would only talk to people in person. Like we'd go days and days where the only person we'd talk to in person would be Rob, who makes our coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that would be, and we'd say hello to him and that's it really.
Yeah.
Like we would go often, a lot of times where we don't really talk to anyone in person, just all obviously online. So
and like that can be almost like a slippery slope as well. I was talking to one of our friends about this a few months ago. Like when you do work from home and you are very socially isolated, it can cause like severe social anxiety. And I noticed this massively with myself going from working on a gym floor and seeing like 50, 100, 150 people a day and having a conversation, like being the most out there, boisterous kind of person you'd ever come across, to when we started CS, we went in like for a solid year of we didn't leave our house. Like
Yeah, we were workaholics. We
Yeah.
still are, but we
Yeah.
were like working 80, 90 hours a week, both of us,
Yeah.
not leaving the house,
not
working
talking to people.
not
And
talking to anyone.
my like coming out of that, my social anxiety was horrible. I couldn't even hold a conversation with my best friends without like stuttering on my words and like getting shaky and jittery. So if you do work from home and you do almost like, even if this brings awareness to how socially isolated you are, having a training buddy to just talk shit with and like have normal human interaction in this day and age in particular, I think it's so important.
Yeah, it's like absolutely crucial. Like it really, really is. So that's Monday to Fridays, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
Monday to Fridays, nutrition on track, training 4 times a week, being consistent with it for accountability from having a friend. Then weekends, we have got a lot going on over the next 8 or 9 weeks, which could have been a very easy way to kind of go.
Very easy excuse.
Oh, it could have been an excuse massively. And so many people are like, oh, I've got so much going on. I want to start in 2 weeks, in 2 months or 3 months. I've got this and that. December's probably the worst for it.
Yeah.
I've got Christmas going on. Like, okay, great. But what have we got going on? So the first bit is a bit of exciting news, which we haven't actually announced or told really anyone.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, we spoke about it about 20 minutes ago, just before.
I have the memory of a goldfish.
So alongside running Coaching Society, we are also building a house.
Oh, yeah.
Did you forget about that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So we've got that happening, which is so, so exciting. We've been working towards it for a long, long time. We haven't told really anyone about it. We haven't announced it on Instagram or anything.
But yeah, we're building a house, which is so fun. Like it's like our passion project, like on the side. It's what we talk about, what we think about. My Pinterest board is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we're building a house, which is going to be, it's going to be stunning. Like dreams.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
We are so keen. We're really, really keen to get in there, be able to like build something that we want and that we love. And hopefully in the next year or so, we'll be in there. Who knows, with building a house and the council. But
yeah, love them.
Anyway, that's to come. So obviously that does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of our, I guess, mind off of our goals, off of our business.
Could be a
off of
very
training.
easy distraction.
Yeah, and it definitely could be a distraction and an excuse. But that's happening, so that's one thing that could get in the way, which we're navigating quite well, just with time on a day-to-day basis. Then every weekend over the next 8 weeks, we've got something on, and any free weekends we will probably have something on. So obviously
We're
this
social
weekend,
people.
I know, I hate it. No, I love it. I love all my friends. Love you. But we've got this weekend, Easter weekend. We actually haven't got too much on, have we? Drew's coming up tomorrow, so
Yeah, one of our coaches
work.
is coming to stay with us, which we love the man. So excited for that and catching up with a few friends, going out in the river and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that'll be
Again,
fun.
we'll be going out in the river, but we'll still be monitoring everything like over the weekend to make sure that we don't go overboard. Like I know on Saturday I won't be tracking my calories. I'll probably have a few beers, but knowing that I've done all the hard work this week leading up to this weekend, I know that I'm not going to have a complete blowout over the weekend and have 5,000 calories on Saturday.
This actually opens up a good conversation for people listening as well who want to maintain some kind of consistency with their nutrition, but obviously still want a social life. We are seeing our best friends this evening for dinner. We're going to the house. We haven't seen them in like 2 or 3 weeks since we got home from Bali and everything.
Wow, actually,
Yeah, ages. And their little baby Oakley. So I messaged Ash this morning about like our plans and whatnot, and I honestly was just like completely honest with her, and I was like, yeah, like would love to, babe. Just letting you know, like I'm on like a prep at the moment, so can't wait to see you, but I'm just going to bring my own food, and whilst you guys are making like your dinner, I'm going to be making my dinner. So I still get to go and see them and have a cuddle with little Oaks and everything. I don't miss out, but I'm just staying on track with my nutrition and making my own choices. And she was so supportive of it. So I would recommend like make sure you have those open conversations with your friends. 9 times out of 10 they'll understand, and if they don't and if they're dicks about it, then there's a door.
How many times, right, over the years of coaching, would you have had it? So in our check-ins, we have a question, what roadblocks do you have coming up this week? How many times would you have read, I'm going to dinner with a friend?
Oh, millions.
Okay, so right there, which what Michaela said is the perfect like way to overcome that roadblock. Like you can still go and have dinner with a friend or friends, instead of getting takeaway like you normally would, cook dinner together and cook what you want to eat, and you can still track it.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to cook you dinner, maybe you could ask for them to cook it slightly differently. They can have it the same way that they want, and then you might get them to keep the sauce on the side or something.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Or cook your own fucking dinner when you're there, and you can still all cook dinner together. Yeah. You can have a glass of wine. Your MyFitnessPal contains 1 glass of red wine today.
I factored in my wine.
Factor that in and still have a fucking social life without ruining all of your results. Like so many people would go for dinner and they might have a family member or a friend who's cooking up like a huge lasagna, and they have a big slab of lasagna on their plate, a couple of beers and a glass of wine or whatever, and they've had 2,000 calories for dinner, and then that's then their excuse. When it shouldn't be an excuse, there are ways to overcome those types of things.
No, just and having supportive friends that like support you. Like Ash supports me. Yeah. Like to the day I die, she always has. So being able to have that conversation with her and be like, hey, this is going on in my life, like just letting you know, and her being like, yeah, bring your food, let's cook dinner together, like let's factor in a glass of wine whilst we're cooking. And, you know, nothing changes for us, which is so special. And that's what I think everyone should almost find in a best friend.
Yeah, beautiful. Love it. That was a really good random bit of advice.
I feel like today's all been tangents, but anyway.
It has. That's okay. So what else we got going on over the next 8 weeks? We have, you're going to Sydney?
Yes, flying to Sydney next Friday.
I have no fucking when is it next Friday?
I'm flying to Sydney next Friday to catch up with a few or a couple of my like bestest girlfriends from high school. High school. So I'm very excited to do that, and I love Sydney.
You're only like early 20s. That was like 5 minutes ago for you.
Oh, fuck off. It was like 5 years ago. 5 years, 6 years ago.
Yeah, still.
Babe, I'm 25 this year.
Actually, it was 12 years ago for me. So
yeah, it's because you're old.
True. But yeah, no, that's exciting.
But no, catching up with a couple of my girlfriends from school, which I haven't seen together since schoolies. So I was like 18. Wow. So yeah, really excited to do that and see those beautiful ladies. And then the weekend after, we go to Melbourne?
Nah, 2 weekends after that, we go to the Gold Coast. So we're going up to the Clean Health Fitness Institute live event, which is
taking our whole team, which will be fun.
Taking all of our coaches. So there's going to be all 4 of our coaches, and then Michaela and myself. We've got a big Airbnb up there for a few days. It's a live event with a conference. James Smith's talking. Who else? Lauren Simpson.
So many
Mark
amazing
Howell.
coaches.
Yeah, heaps of people from the Clean Health Circle there, which is going to be really cool for 3 days.
Again, could have used that as an excuse as to, I don't think I should do this shoot. Like, I've got too much on. Yeah. Like a full 3-day event that I'm going to be in the Gold Coast with.
And we won't be tracking our calories. We'll be eating the food that's served to us at the event or given to us at the event. And that is okay to have 3 days out of the next 8 or 9 weeks where we are completely off track. That's not going to impact things too much because we're going to work hard leading up to it and then come back from it.
Yep.
Just as good.
3 days compared to like almost like sacrificing 3 days and sacrificing 3 months. Like when you put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's going to be a cool event with the team. That's for
I can't wait. I can't wait. And then the weekend after, is that when we go to Melbourne? I focus on like not even week to week. I focus literally day to day.
So I don't even know where I am. Weekend after, or maybe the one after that. We go to Melbourne. So one of our mates, Nath, he is competing in a bodybuilding show in Melbourne. He's actually based in Sydney, but he's coming down to compete in Melbourne. So we're going to go down and support him. So we'll be staying down there as well for the evening. Are we staying down there? We haven't booked that. We should book that.
Yeah, we should book that.
But we're staying down there. So again, that's another day where we're going to have to overcome that. We'll cross that when we get to it because that's only one day that we need to overcome, and we can do that pretty comfortably. And then I think the week after that, or the week after, maybe 2 weeks after, we've got the photo shoot. So
shoot weekend.
We've got a lot going on over the next few weeks. And I think the biggest takeaway is that is not an excuse to work on your goals. If you think that you've got something coming up that's going to impact you and it's not like a 3-week fucking holiday, then you can still get to where you want to be and work on your goals and navigate through them as they come.
Mm-hmm. Don't use it as an excuse. Like, it doesn't have to be an excuse. You make your excuses. Like, you can overcome anything that gets chucked your way. And for us, this is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. So we've had a bit of shit talk today, haven't we? It's been a bit of a ramble, a lot of tangents. Shall we round up with like key takeaways that we think we got from today's podcast so people can leave the episode and go, you know what? They're the things that I could work on or could implement. So number one, we've just spoken about, which was navigate through social events and continue to work on your goals, even when you've got social events, whether it's weddings, weekends away, whatever it might be. conferences. Not that many people go to them. So that's number one. Number two.
Short-term goals.
Yeah, short-term goals.
Put short-term goals into place, because I know a lot of people, and I speak to a lot of people, when they start like their health and fitness journey, they're like, I've got 20 kilos to lose, or I want to grow my glutes, whatever it may be. It's such a big goal, and it's not short-term enough for you to, stay quote unquote motivated for. So whereas having short-term, so an 8-week goal for us, I can taste the finish line. Like I can see it so clearly that I am working towards it meticulously, because I'm like, cool, this is achievable, it's doable, it's in sometime in the near future. I've just got to knuckle down for another 8 weeks.
Yeah. Another tangent, but it's what we do with all of our clients. We break everything down. Like everyone's got a long-term goal. Everyone's got that dream outcome that is where they want to get to with everything. So you always want to break that down into medium-term and short-term goals, and
micro goals, like daily goals.
Exactly. Like mini targets every single week that lead up to like a monthly goal every month. Even what we're doing, like with our 8-week goal, we're breaking it down, and we've got a goal over the next 4 weeks each that we want to try and get to. So break it down into short-term. The clearer and easier you can see it, the more you're going to work on it. And I think maybe final bit of advice is the accountability side of things. I think that's been a game changer for us that I think a lot of people can take a lot from, is find someone to keep you accountable, whether it's your partner, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend. So like I've got Jord, who is there at the gym waiting for me, mainly because I don't know if he knows how to use the new app to get in the gym. So I have to let him in. But still having that accountability of having someone there, whether it's training, nutrition, whatever element of your life you need them.
Yeah. And as well as that, just making sure your circle is supportive. Like we have a really supportive circle around us, which is going to make the next 8 weeks, regardless of how much we've got going on, I think pretty manageable.
Yeah. It's going to be a breeze for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And that wraps that up. Next week, who have we got?
We have a special guest,
yes.
A very special guest next week.
I don't know how I forgot. He's literally coming tomorrow to film the episode, but we've got Drew coming on. We are going to be going through. It's a secret because I don't actually know.
Who knows? Who knows?
I haven't
honestly,
worked out
to
what
be
we're
honest.
going through. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit of Drew's story, his background, who he is, and I guess lessons that he's learned and obstacles he's overcome. So super exciting, and I'm really hopeful for anyone who knows Drew and has seen him, worked with him. You start to notice his personality come out and notice him coming out of his shell, because
one of the funniest persons I've ever met.
Is hilarious, and he's an exceptional human being, that's for sure.
Exceptional. So he will be on next week, which I hope you're all looking forward to if you're a current client of ours and you work with Drew. Strap yourself in for it, because it's going to be a funny one. I'm actually not going to be involved in it. It's just going to be Russ and Drew. I'm going to be behind the scenes in production. So I don't know what's going to come out of their mouth, and we might have to
break it down into like a 4-part series, because we'll probably talk for ages.
Well, I don't know what you're going to talk about. That's what I'm nervous about.
It's a secret.
Okay.
All
anyway,
right,
we will see you guys next week, but thank you for tuning in, and have a good week, guys.
Rest
of your week. Bye.